Hey, it's Kevin. Thank you so much for coming by for another No BS social media chat. Today's topic is truly, well, we're talking, well, not cooking per se, we're talking recipes. And I really mean this. As we record this, we're entering the week of Thanksgiving of 2015, so the holidays are upon us. And what's one thing people always talk about during the holidays? Eating, drinking, partying, being festive. So I literally asked the question, got a recipe? I don't care if you're a cook. I don't care if you like to cook. It's a great way to get people to react to your content, no matter what you do, no matter who you are. We all have to eat, right? And the reason I say this is this. Years ago, my mother was not the greatest cook. My father was the one who taught my mother how to cook, and I kind of taught myself. And hey, I can scratch cook pretty much anything, but I don't have a huge folder of recipes, and the stuff I have is pretty basic. But years ago, my grandmother had a recipe for cheesecake that she passed on down, and it's a unique cheesecake. It's not a New York style cheesecake. It's got a graham cracker crust. It's I can't explain it, but once you've had it, you crave it forever. And so years ago, I was asked by one of the radio stations I worked at to submit a recipe for a celebrity cookbook, and the only thing I had that was anything special was this grandma's cheesecake, Grandma Dorothy's cheesecake, as I call it. And so I posted it, I submitted it. And oh my gosh, the response I got from all the people who bought that cookbook wanting to know more about Grandma Dorothy was amazing. So I just kind of went, wow, isn't that kind of cool? My grandma, who had already passed away, was kind of honored with this cheesecake recipe she'd passed on down, including the pan she passed it on down with. Years later, I put out my own celebrity cookbook when I was at a radio station in Ohio, and boom, everybody kept coming back to me with, oh my gosh, tell me about your Grandma Dorothy. Well, lo and behold, years go by, the internet comes about, social media is here, and what can I do to get, well, people talking, people's response? Post a recipe. I've got a blog I do. Nothing special. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just a place for me to put things up that interest me, that amuse me, it's just a place on the internet. It's kevmania.com, KEVMANIA.com. I don't post there very often. It's not a big deal. I don't promote it a lot. But years ago, I posted a recipe for what they call the Quincy Maid-Rite sandwich. If you've ever been to the Maid-Rite store, and they've got them in Iowa, Illinois, Ohio, Indiana, it's a chain. It's the loose meat sandwich. It's been around since the 30s. And growing up in Quincy, Illinois, they had a big Maid-Rite store there, and Maid-Rites were popular. And when you move away and you can't eat Maid-Rites, you crave them. I found years ago a recipe from a friend, and it was even before the internet, for Quincy Maid-Rites. These are the closest thing to being how they make their Maid-Rites. And I posted it online, gosh, probably 5, 6, 7 years ago, probably, on Kevmania. And I go into the stats every now and again and see that it's still one of my most viewed posts. A silly recipe. And what's funny is a lot of people who've commented have even said, I was looking up Quincy Maid-Rite and your thing came up on the internet, and while you lived in Quincy, and you build a connection there. So it sounds silly. It sounds kind of nonsensical. But as we enter the holiday season, you got a recipe? You don't even have to just do this during the holidays. You don't have to be a cook. You can be a recording artist if you share your grandmother's recipe for spaghetti sauce, whatever it is, or, it could be anything silly. I love finding online the recipes for the mock version of the fill-in-the-blank recipe here. There have been recipes. There was a restaurant based out of Nashville years ago called The Cooker, and we had them up in Ohio. They had them in Indiana, and I loved The Cooker's beer cheese soup. It was really more potato cheese soup. And I loved this soup. And so I went searching and scouring online to find a recipe that kind of replicated it. And so I've got that with me. So think about all those things that interest you. Think about something that's a family tradition. Think about, and again, perfect for the holidays, but at the same time, perfect anytime. If you're just struggling for something to post, if you're struggling for something that, well, once it's out there on the internet, it can come back to you time and time again as something of interest, even if it has nothing to pertain to your job, your career, your true total purpose in social media, give a gift, what's becoming the holiday season, and share a recipe. Hey, if you've got a recipe, hey, you can email it to me, you can text it to me, you can send it to me online. I'm always up for a good recipe. In fact, I'll give you a little secret. My wife and I, while we're always dieting, we do the Weight Watchers diet. We have a website where we've culled all the recipes, all the good Weight Watchers recipes we found online, and it's out there. You can find it if you want to, but it doesn't get enough hits, and it's just strictly for us to be able to save the recipes, see what we've got, and that's picklesthecat.com. So if you want a good recipe, you can always track down my picklesthecat.com website, and that's our own personal little menu organizer, if you will, our own little personal recipe book online there for you. See you next week. Another No BS social media chat. NoBSSocial.com. The YouTube page, of course, No BS Social. And you can also find us on Facebook as well. We'll see you next week. Hope you share some recipes.